Yes, Jason Belmonte is still signing autographs because he just won the USBC Masters. Now we welcome you to the second half of our twin bill, the World Bowling Tour Championships. Our competitors today in the first matches you will see. Third seed Liz Johnson take on Anggie Ramirez Perea to take on the number 1 seed Danielle McEwan, who is the defending champion of this event on the women's side. And for the men, Martin Larsen is the top seed. He was in our previous show. He awaits the winner of Anthony Simonsen versus Marshall Kent. Well, as David Lee Roth once said, I heard you missed us. We're back. Along with the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, I'm Dave Lamont. And while we try to process Belmo, we need to move on, though, and take a look at this event. And we talked a little bit about Anthony Simonsen. In this field, he is the guy who broke Belmo's run as the USBC Masters champ a year ago.
Yeah, and I think he has a real big advantage in this matchup because of his power. He doesn't use his thumb. It's the two-handed power, like a lot of what we just saw with Jason Belmonte. Maybe not as high a rev rate, but he still does some really interesting and unique things that the other two players cannot do.
So he will be in the opening match, and how you get to this tournament is very simple. An accumulation of points from events all around the world, and the top 3 get to make it here. So Martin Larsen on top, steady as she goes for Larsen. Then Simonsen and Marshall Kent, with Jesper Svensson just outside that cut line in the number 4 spot. And Belmo could have pulled the double today. He was number 5. Now, we're going to take a look at the ladies, and we're going to see the defending champion Danielle McEwan in a little while, and she has a very stylish classic game and is really becoming one of the biggest stars in the game.
Yeah, she really does. She's a great athlete, number 1, a gym rat. She's always working hard on her game and on her body, but she's a down and in player with a good heavy hand, likes to stay up the back and roll it. She's actually won a PBA regional event beating up on the guys.
She beat up on everybody in this world field as well, finishing comfortably in front of Anggie Ramirez Perea, with Liz Johnson solidly in 3rd. So Kimberly is standing by with our 2 top seeds, Martin and Danielle. Kimberly, it's all yours.
Thanks, guys. So, Martin, we saw you in the last show. You said you were going to take some time, relax with your family. Did it help? Is it working? Are you ready?
I'm sure ready. It's not very often you get a chance to bounce back on another show like an hour or 2 after you just lost. So it's just great to have another chance.
All right, well, we'll see you in your guys' match. And Danielle, when we talked yesterday, you said that you took some time off at the end of 2016 to kind of refresh and relax as well. So how's your game?
I'm feeling pretty good, trying to get comfortable on the practice lanes over there. So when I come over here, it's game time and I'm ready to go.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you in the next match. Guys, we're going to send it back up to you in the booth. All
right, Kimberly, thank you very much. And, of course, in this one, we're going to be using the World Bowling Tour scoring. We will explain that as we get ready for our first match between Liz Johnson, one of the finest bowlers anywhere in the world, against the lefty Anggie Ramirez Perea. That is coming up. The World Bowling Tour Finals begin in a moment. The World Bowling Tour Finals are brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By DV8. We are DV8. Tonight, we bowl. By Hammer Bowling. Nothing hits like a hammer. And by Radical Bowling Technologies. Wow, that's radical. The Vegas Strip, baby. We love it. Love being here anytime. Now, big Monday, number 8 North Carolina squaring off number 18 Virginia in our first game at 7 Eastern. You want to watch Kansas? We got Kansas against Oklahoma at Allen Fieldhouse. The Jayhawks dominate the Big 12 regular season. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. All right, we mentioned the what they call World Bowling Tour current frame scoring. So it's 10-frame match, of course, but you have no extra shots in the 10th frame, so you could actually have a 10-strike 300 because a strike is worth 30. Spare is 10 pins, and the pinfall of the first shot in the frame. In open frame, you get what you get, and you don't get upset. And the max score, of course, is always 300. And here is Anggie Ramirez Perea out of Bogota, Colombia. And if you think, I've seen her before. Her college career is something else. And she gets a break.
And the reason for the scoring system is to try to help new bowlers and new fans understand and have a little bit easier time with scoring in our sport. Now, see, that doesn't really apply to me because when I was a youngster, I used to keep score. So I was
With a pencil.
Oh yeah, we
Yep.
had yellow grease pencils and the hot telescope units.
Yeah, man.
Used to fry your hand.
Here's one of the great bowlers in the game, Liz Johnson. 8 major championships. That's Liz. Very simple style. Hasn't changed very much over the last 7-8 years, she said to us the other day.
Did you mention how many majors she has?
A lot.
Yeah, 8.
Yes, sir. Including the U.S. Women's Open last year in Addison, Illinois.
Belmonte just won his 8th.
Yes, he did. And Liz won also the PWBA Las Vegas Open last year. She's been bowling that same line, Andy. It just does not change.
Yeah, she finds a way to make it work outside second arrow.
All the time. All the time.
And she's made, I believe, the finals in this event all but one time, and is still looking for her first crown in the WBT finals.
She was a number 3 seed last year and lost to the eventual champion Danielle McEwan. She's lost to Kelly Kulick. Missy Parkin beat her twice. 4-time All-American here in Maryland Eastern Shore. Anggie. It goes wide left there.
I called some of her matches for Maryland Eastern Shore, and I want to say that I called a couple where they were a couple of the teams that she was on that actually won the MEAC championship.
If I remember correctly, they actually did something that's almost impossible to do now. They won both the NCAA and the ITC. Because I also did college for her at Maryland UMass, and yeah, she was the star on those teams. They had good teams.
Says here, well, of course, Anggie being from Bogota, Colombia, some of her favorites, her favorite food is listed as Colombian food.
Well, stay true to your school. You see her arsenal is bowling with a lock. Also has the Alpha Crux Critical and Timeless available if needed. And the winner faces Danielle McEwan. So again, there you see the scoring. Liz Johnson has 2 strikes, 30 points per strike. So she has 60. And that will be 30 for Anggie. And this gives us a chance to show you our Barbasol close shave of the day, a very slow messenger.
Well, this is a trip 6. I don't know if I'd call that a messenger, though.
Yeah, good point. 10-pin takes the work.
Yeah, that very fortunate hit there. Liz Johnson working on a double. Needs to get up.
It
And
pushed.
does.
Yep, it did. Now, you notice Liz with the left knee wrap. She's had some issues with arthritis in that knee, and you say, well, how do you take care of it? She says, well, you go to the gym, you eat right, and you don't be a baby about it, with her words.
Well, I mean, Liz is 42 years old, and she's been, I mean, look at that knee bend, the foot turning out. Dave, I had 3 knee surgeries over the length of my career, so I know what left knee pain is all about.
But her attitude is, yeah, all right, I'm just going to keep bowling. That's what I do. She's going to have 4 in a row for 120. In the WBT current frame scoring format. Remember, you can have only 10 frames, so we're not going to be talking about if you double in the 10th or if you get this and that. It's just one shot of the 10th.
Don Barrett bowled 300 last year, Indianapolis, in this event.
And she's swinging to the left and a quiet 7-pin.
Yeah, pretty good looking shot here, but just a soft 7 for Anggie. She's falling behind quickly.
So what you get for that is the 10 for the spare plus the 9. So that's 19 for Ramirez Perea. Member of Team Columbia. By the way, Team Columbia's got some talent. Very, very good team. Clara Guerrero is the name that comes to mind when you think of great bowlers from Columbia from the women's side. And we are not using the blue oil that you might be used to on other telecasts, but we haven't forgotten to have Randy tell you what the pattern is going to be like. So what are we bowling on here today?
Well, it's the Atlanta pattern. It's 38 feet in length, and the volume is kind of a medium volume. But this pattern can be good for big scores. Conducive to scoring, I should say.
So Ramirez Perea, if she is able to handle the 7-pin, will pick up 19. And does. So Liz Johnson has had 4 strikes to begin. Liz has 19 women's professional titles. You mentioned 8 majors. She has won mixed doubles titles with Norm Duke. The Don and Paula Carter mixed doubles in Reno back in 09.
Hook a little.
Bowling balls tend to pay attention to Liz. And by the way, that jersey very significant to Liz, who's a big animal lover. The Paws jersey, and she did not want to forget a shout out to her mom and dad in Niagara Falls, also who are watching. And you see using a no rules pearl at the moment, but also has no rules, Pearl Black and Daredevil if she needs it.
No urethane here, sir.
Is that a dictation because of the pattern?
Yeah, absolutely. The pattern dictates everything. Line you play, score, the scoring pace, everything.
And she didn't like that one, and she'll have a little bit of a little work to do on the 310.
She knew it as soon as it left her hand, as most top professionals do.
She'll be bowling in the PBA League 2017 for the LL Bean Portland Lumberjacks. And both these ladies will be full-time on the PWBA Tour. Ooh, that's a surprise. So she only gets 9 there and leaves the door a little bit open here. 159 for Liz. Her first mistake of the match, giving Anggie Ramirez Perea perhaps an opportunity. We'll see if she can take advantage of it when we return to the World Bowling Tour Finals. Tuesday on ESPN, an ACC-SEC doubleheader at 7 o'clock Eastern. The 10th-ranked Duke Blue Devils host number 19 Florida State. Then off we go to Rupp Arena for Vanderbilt, trying to take down number 11 Kentucky. Had a big win yesterday. Super Tuesday, presented by CenturyLink on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Well, we know Kimberly Prester's been keeping an eye on little advice, a little coaching. Kimberly, what do you got?
Yeah, thanks, guys. So just after the commercial break, you saw Anggie walk over to her boyfriend, Anthony. And yesterday when we were talking, I said, do you guys give each other advice? And Anthony says that he normally gives Anggie advice, but she doesn't give him advice because he bowls 2 hands. And during the actual match, you see him standing over here next to me, and he keeps saying, slow down, keep calm, keep calm.
And he's not talking to you because we don't have to tell you to be calm. But yes, in fact, we also have a dating relationship with Marshall Kent, who will be in the men's segment, and our top seed, Danielle McEwan.
It's like couples week.
Yes, it is.
On the PBA Tour, on the show.
Ooh, ring at 7. That's a good-looking shot and an unfortunate break.
Well, she's left 3 7-pins already and 2 softies and a ringing 7 there. All 3 have been in a row.
So again, to give you an idea on the scoring, if she misses this, she only gets 9. And she will add 10 to her total and get 19 for the frame. There's no carryover. There's no count. There's any of that other stuff. You get what you get. And she'll cover that there. So it gives her now 135. So she's 24 back of Liz Johnson. Anggie made one television show last year on the PWBA Tour. Lost to Nue Fen at the PWBA Sacramento Open, finishing 4th there. Nue Fen ended up winning the whole thing. Ultimately on the tour, Players Championship. That had to hurry, and it did not, leaving the 139 behind.
Yeah, she gets it too far to the left and target and hangs. See that ball there just kind of slip sliding away.
Thank you, Paul Simon.
You're welcome.
Well, this is 10 points, I should say. She's really going to need. Liz has only had one bad frame, and she did leave an open in the 6th. And picked up only 9-10. And she'll convert it very nicely. The ball taking out that sleeper. So she'll go to 152. Time for our Columbia 300 fun fact. Liz Johnson has qualified for 5 of the 6 WBT finals events, the most of any player, male or female. Kelly Kulik and Mika Koivuniemi have 4 each.
Come on.
10 straight back for Liz. And 30 points.
In 2014 World Series of Bowling, Liz Johnson became the first woman to qualify for a TV finals twice. She was the number 4 seed. Let's not forget the only female to ever win, Kelly Kulik, when she beat Chris Barnes at the Tournament of Champions.
She was the first woman to make the TV finals of any PBA Tour event. She lost to Tommy Jones at GR, Grand Rapids, Michigan. So if you have any questions about her qualifications, that's on you. So you see, coming up after our final match for the women, which will be Danielle McEwan versus the winner of the match currently going on, it'll be Anthony Simonsen versus Marshall Kent, and the winner takes on Martin Larsen. And a trip on the 10 for Ramirez Perea. She needed that 30 very badly. All right, so her max score is 242.
Yeah, Liz Johnson just needs a mark in the 9th and then a good count in the 10th. If she strikes in the 9th, it's over.
Correct.
This takes a little getting used to.
It's easy,
but
math. It's easy, but you're so used to doing it
right.
the PBA way, and
Exactly.
I understand completely. And even the players admit, there's a board where the players can, and you can't see it on camera, but the players keep up with it, of course. And they admit, a terrible break there. That they admit it's a little confusing at first because they're used to their math.
Yeah. That's not very friendly.
No. Ball went right by the 9. So she'll go to 211 here, so she can do a max now, 241. No, I'm sorry, 201. And then a max of 231. Carried too far. Perhaps if I wrote it down, it would help. He's stubborn about things like that. All right, now it's a 201. And so she can hit a strike here. And remember, you only get 1 shot in the 10th. And she will have to wait on that. And so now Liz Johnson is in a position here to win the match. Ring at 10 for Liz. Great shot.
Well, Liz doesn't even need to mark here in the 9th and 10th, just good count. Done.
So Liz Johnson has won the opening match. She's going to try to break this losing streak in the WBT finals. She'll take on the #1 seed. The young talent Danielle McEwan, one of the best young players in the world, will face Liz Johnson for the WBT women's finals when we come back. So Liz Johnson has moved into the finals, defeating Anggie Ramirez 268-220 in the WBT current frame scoring format. And Liz is standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
She sure is. So Liz, congratulations on making it to the finals. You know, when we talk about the best bowlers, women bowlers in the world, your name is always at the top of that list. But this is the 5th time that you've been in the WBT final show, and yet it's elusive. You've never won it.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I just keep pressing every year, you know, just fortunately able to make it. But, you know, it's one match to go now. I feel pretty good out there. Just got to make 10 great shots.
You sure do, and we wish you the best of luck, guys.
All right, you two, thank you very, very much. Liz Johnson, Danielle McEwan, they know each other's games extremely well. Foes on the PWBA Tour. You take a look at our defending champion, Danielle McEwan, who won the PWBA Wichita Open last year. And again, the current frame scoring format, you will get 30 pins for a strike or points. And spares, 10 plus the pinfall of the first shot, open frame. That's all you get, whatever you left. And max score, of course, is 300, but you only get one ball in the 10th frame, or one frame, I should say, one shot, not the 3 strikes in the 10th or whatever. That's a little high, and probably a fortunate result.
Something distracted Liz. I'm not sure what happens. Setting over to the left, or excuse me, to the right of her.
Well, coming with all the distractions, you have all the interviews, all the things going on. It might have been somebody still moving out of position, or somebody in the crowd might have done something.
As long as it wasn't me.
It was not. We are safely out of range. We're not going to have you moved or anything. We're fine. So out of Stony Point, New York. A couple of New York bowlers here, actually. Liz Cheektowaga, although she's in the process of moving to the Chicago area, but Danielle out of Stony Point, New York. And she kicks the 10 aside.
Beautiful opening shot by Danielle. Works really hard on keeping her hand up underneath the ball. I want you to pay close attention to her backswing, the direction of her backswing.
She also has a PBA regional title, as Randy mentioned, in 2015 in Vegas over at South Point. She won the PBA West Regional Challenge. And yeah, got a kick on the 4.
Take a look at this swing. You don't see that ball behind her until it gets, about to her ankle. So that swing's nice and out away from the body, tucks up underneath her, and allows her to keep her hand underneath the ball and go nice and straight.
And Liz went a little right of center that time and left behind some tough work. The best she can pick up there is 17. McEwan with a double has 60 already. These two have, in the 2015 Smithfield PWBA Tour Championship, Liz lost to Danielle in the semifinals, 278-224, and then McEwan went on to win the event over Stephanie Johnson in the title match.
Hook a little.
It did. It hooked just right. I think it's got to be a tough spare, don't you think there, Randy?
I think it has to be. It's like the bucket without the 5-pin.
In fact, it's our hammer tough spare replay.
Covered nicely. She kind of coaxed it over though, saying, hey, hook a little.
Well, we said earlier, bowling balls tend to listen.
My bowling balls never listened.
Sometimes they did.
Yeah, sometimes, but
There you go, 10 straight for 30 for Liz Johnson. Kimberly Pressler standing by with Anggie Ramirez-Perea. Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. So, Angie, during practice, you were striking left and right with that ball. What changed for you?
I think we got a little all going down the lane. Well, me on the left side. Then I needed, after those 2 flat 7s, I needed to go a little straighter through the fronts. I did the move. Then I rang a 7. Then in the other lane, I left stone 9. So I think I threw it good. I feel happy with how I executed. That's all I can do.
Are you going to be sticking around and watching your boyfriend, Anthony?
Yep, I'll be right there in the back.
Cheering him on.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, guys. We're going to send it back to you.
Thank you both very much. Angie, great bowling to get here. Had to do very well around the world just to make this show. And Anthony Simonsen will be in the opening match versus Marshall Kent following this match. We'll be crowning the women's champion. This is going to be a tricky conversion. And got it! That's a beauty. And it's an extra 10 on the McEwan slate.
can we go back and change the hammer tough spare replay to that one? Because I think that would be more appropriate.
Well, it might be, but you're just going to have to watch the head pin wipe this 10 out.
That was the shot Tommy Jones had to convert to win the Tournament of Champions. So take a look at her arsenal: lock, no rules, code black, and IQ Tour Pearl. Try saying that 3 times real fast.
Ooh, that was a break for her. That wasn't her best shot, leaving the 10 standing. Of course, unfortunately for Tommy, that shot didn't work as well as Danielle's. EJ Tackett was the big beneficiary there. Big February continuing with this World Bowling Tour and concluding with this World Bowling Tour final. And if you missed it earlier, Jason Belmonte won his 4th USBC Masters. And that means only 9 for McEwan, so she's going to go to 85. And a surprise there.
Liz Johnson can now take the lead. Crazy game. You make the washout and then miss a 10-pin.
You don't want to give a bowler of Liz's credentials a lot of opportunities. Didn't hook, though, and she's going to get a break.
All right.
So she'll pick up 30 and go up 11.
If you like a trip to when you're working on a strike, swipe right.
You see Liz's international credentials, impeccable. Oh, hated it. Yeah.
This is going to be the toughest pair that she's attempted now because of the back pin, the 9-pin.
Well, she missed the 310 earlier in her first match by chopping the 3. So how is she going to make it?
Well, you have to throw a hook ball into here so that you can cover that back pin, the 9-pin. We see a lot of players today actually throwing the ball straight and hard at the 3-9, but you know, Liz doesn't curve it a whole lot, so it'll be interesting to see how she tries to convert this.
And leaves one back. So McEwan makes a mistake, Johnson makes a mistake and pays for it. And now Danielle can take the lead with a strike.
You can see the 6-pin getting chopped. She takes the 3-9 straight back.
McEwan has to feel very fortunate. Wide, and Bucket got knocked loose. She's left behind with a 2-5.
You know, that right lane was tighter for the Masters. And you remember that the left lane developed that hook spot. The right lane was tighter down lane. And it looks like, even though this is a completely different pattern, that the topography of this pair is showing up, and kind of have the same thing now. The right lane looking like it's skidding a little bit longer, and left lane looks like it's it hooks a bit more.
So she had a chance to take the lead. She actually, and this is where things like count really would have mattered if this were a traditional scoring match. Instead, she's still down, but by only 2. A lot of accomplishments at age 25 and younger for McEwan. She was a 2-time collegiate and academic All-American at Farley Dickinson. Fairleigh Dickinson, I should say. And there's a 2.45, so she's off on the pocket here.
Needs to try to tighten her angles up just a little bit. Traditional scoring, this score would be very close. Prior to that shot, she would have actually been in the lead.
Looking to get 17 here. She'll do just that. So she's now at 120 through 5.5. Liz Johnson trying to win this event for the first time, but she has to take down the defending champion, Danielle McEwan, in order to do it. We'll wrap up the Women's Championship on the World Bowling Tour when we return. Monday, we've got 8th-ranked North Carolina's Tar Heels squaring off against number 18, the Wahoos of Virginia, in our first game at 7 o'clock Eastern. And then off we go to see Kansas host Oklahoma at the Phog. Big Monday presented by eBay and ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN, or maybe some of you all are watching our telecast here, the second of our historic bowling doubleheader, live back-to-back bowling shows. The USBC Masters, won by Jason Belmonte earlier, his 4th USBC Masters. And we're going to remind you again, this World Bowling Tour final for both these ladies and for the men coming up afterwards has used the current frame scoring. So if Liz Johnson strikes here, it's 30. No extra 10th frame shots. Spare is 10 plus your pinfall. Open frame is what you get. And you can throw a 310, but we're not going to get that in this game.
Push.
But you're going to get 30 for Liz.
Yeah, good shot. Coming out of commercial break, maintaining the lead. One open frame for each player.
A lot of conversations we eavesdropped on in the break. Liz had a brief run with Jim Callahan, a ball rep. And then a major conference. They almost needed a big round table with Danielle McEwan. You almost needed to book a room here at the Orleans.
Another one.
Yeah, through the face, 3-6-10 behind.
Another one through the schnoz.
And Liz had a little trouble with some, she's had some tough leads too.
It's almost like she's afraid to throw the ball an inch to the right, or it's hooking early, but that just looks like it's a bad line. You know what? I think her knee might be bothering her.
Well, remember what she says. Don't be a baby about it. Oh, if you hear her gasp and all that, that's what she does.
Oh.
That's normal.
Okay.
Yeah, trust me.
Monica Seles-ish?
Not nearly as loud.
Okay.
All right, let's talk for a little bit. You were paying attention to the big confab with Danielle.
Yeah. The instruction was to move 1 and 1 right, tighten her angle up. That's wide right again.
And she leaves behind that, so the best she can do is pick up 16 here, and she would be 16 behind.
This is just an errant shot to the right. You see the posture looked like she tried to save it.
Accurate on her spare, but she actually dropped a point there, so she's now down by 16 with 3 frames to go. And remember, only the 1 frame in the 10th. You can't string together 3 strikes to save yourself or put pressure on an opponent. And she has not thrown a strike, McEwan, since the 2nd frame.
She was also told to get more aggressive at the bottom. Catch it.
That's through the nose a little bit, leaving behind a 3-6.
There's the Liz Johnson reaction on the left lane.
Yep. So I guess the question is, if they're getting that same reaction, what's keeping them from moving a little bit away to the right? Fear the ball won't go back?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to go right if there's hang to the right. The move, anytime there's no friction to the right, is always left, especially with the men. So I think that there's probably a little bit of hold on the left lane if they were to move a little bit farther left. And the right lane, I think you just need to keep your angle nice and shut, nice and closed.
Liz struck on this lane last time. She has struck on this lane twice.
That's how she's up and at it. Her lines are real good on that right lane. The left lane is the one she needs to make the big move on right now. I think she needs to move 3 or 4 boards left. That ball's perfectly flushed into the pocket. She's won just about everything in women's bowling except this event.
And she has to go to an unfriendly lane. And the good news for her is she'll finish on the right.
Finishes on her good lane.
Nope, not happening. 3-6-10. She could have really put McEwan in a very bad spot with a 30 there.
Last 3 shots have all been through the face on this lane.
And very fortunate not to have splits.
I want to say that she even threw a different bowling ball that time on that left lane.
She did. You'd be correct to say that. Well, McEwan's maximum score here, Randy, is 214, right?
Yeah.
So Liz will sit at 199 if she converts this, and she does not. So that's 10 off that she would have gotten. She's at 189. Her max score is now at 219. Liz has had a little tough time today with her spare making. And
No, Liz Johnson's max score 221.
Man, my math today.
And, well,
thank you.
Listen, you've been doing it all until late, so I just thought I'd help you there.
No, I appreciate it.
So 214, 221.
Oh, that's a terrible break.
Well, that was the right line, and you know, with a little bit more speed, that holds the pocket. But
well, let's see here. She makes this, it's 173.
yeah, and then a strike 203, and Liz Johnson would just need a mark.
But she hasn't always had marks today.
But she's getting up on her good line, though.
That's good. Excellent point. So converted, and don't forget, Danielle missed a single pin earlier. Single pin misses can be devastating in a championship match. By the way, if she does not mark, she actually has to be careful here, because if she doesn't get the right amount of pins on this ball, even making the spare won't help her. Championship finish, though, for Danielle. A 203. It's going to force Liz to make a mark. So it's very simple. Again.
Yeah.
So 1 frame here. It's in other words, the 10th is the 5th. It might as well be. Liz Johnson strikes, she wins. She spares, she wins. Anything else? And it's Danielle McEwan back-to-back as the champion of the World Bowling Tour women's side. Holy smokes, are you kidding me? It is.
Oh my. She's got to make this to win. And it's only been made 3 times in the history of television. What an awful break for Liz Johnson.
I have to go back and show that shot again. I'm sure we will. She's going to gun for it, and she just lost for the 5th time. Danielle McEwan repeats as champion in the most unlikely way possible to capture a 2nd straight WBT finals. Don't worry, Danielle. We can't quite believe it either.
High five, thank you guys for allowing
Just
me to be here.
unbelievable.
Thank you.
That's shocking beyond belief.
I mean, just an awful, awful break. Remember I said it last week? Pocket 710, worst break in bowling because you come away without even having a mark. Awful way to lose right here.
The World Bowling Tour Finals are brought to you by Barbasol. New Barbasol premium disposable razors with close shave technology. America's leader for close, comfortable shave. By Rotogrip. Built for those who take bowling seriously. Don't just play the game. Own it. By Track Bowling. Make the smart move. And by 900 Global. Performance for your game. Yeah, they line up to take a photo with that iconic Las Vegas sign here in Nevada. Want to remind you that PBA's Extra Frame is your home for exclusive live coverage of the PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA tours. In March, check out live coverage of the PBA Extra Frame Reality Check Classic from Tamarack, Florida. Yearly, monthly, and 3-day subscriptions available. Click on the Extra Frame link in the menu section of PBA.com for more information. Everybody here just absolutely stunned about what happened.
Well, Danielle gets up here in the 10th frame and throws that strike to force a mark. And Liz Johnson just gets up and does the unthinkable. Just a terrible, terrible break.
And let's go down with our winner and Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. Danielle, you know what? You are the defending champion, but I got to say, when Liz went up there in the 10th and didn't get that mark that she needed, your face was pretty surprised that you walked away from this win. Is that pretty safe to say?
Yes, surprised is very safe to say. That was a rough match. The lanes were tricky, obviously, for both of us, which caused some pretty bad shots. And she ended up getting up in the end and making a great one and got a bad break. I feel for her. She had control of the match more than I did, but that's the funny thing about this sport and these one-game matches. You know, it could fall into anybody's hands, and sometimes you're on the good side, sometimes you're on the bad side.
And today you walk away with the trophy. Congratulations. Guys, we're going to send it to
Danielle, congratulations. Kimberly, thank you very much. Now we have coming up Marshall Kent, Anthony Simonsen, and the winner plays Martin Larsen for the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship. Inside the Orleans, this is the World Bowling Tour Men's Finals. 2 matches to determine the winner of the WBT. These 3 bowlers earned their way by their steady play around the world, and steady always is when you think of Martin Larsen. That's the perfect adjective for his game. Anthony Simonsen, number 2. Marshall Kent edging out Jesper Svensson with Belmo, the USBC Masters champion for a record 4th time in the number 5 position. And our 2 competitors in the opening match are standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. So both of you have significant others that were in previous matches, Danielle with you and Angie with you, and I saw you both giving them advice. So Marshall, Danielle just won. Did she give you any advice about the lanes today?
A little bit, yeah. She kind of gave me the information that she saw and said the left lane's a little different than the right, so I'm going to take that information and use it to my ability and make good shots and see what happens.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Now, Anthony, when we talked yesterday, you said that you give Angie advice, but she can't really give you advice because you bowl with 2 hands. But what did she tell you about the lanes that you can use today?
She didn't, tell me anything really. We were just kind of chit-chatting just normal talk throughout. She's on the left side, I'm on the right side. She's one-handed, I'm two-handed, so there's not too much she can tell me.
All right. Well, I wish you all the best today.
Thank you.
Guys.
Marshall, you're not supposed to give up any secrets to your opponent. You don't tell him the left lane's tricky or left lane's different, even though it is. And he probably knows it, but so what?
I thought I saw Simonson's eyebrow raised just a little bit there when he heard that bit of news. See, Angie right there, and there is Anthony Simonsen, the two-hander out of Austin, Texas. USBC Masters champion last year, won the Roth-Holman doubles with his friend Connor Pickford in 2016.
Yeah,
I was wondering if that was going to work, and it did.
That's my first one on TV.
So he picks up 30. And again, under this current frame, scoring 30 points for a strike. Take a look at Marshall Kent now, a right-hander out of Yakima, Washington, just 24 years old. Again, continuing that youth movement.
Is it Yakima or Yakima?
It is Yakima. I think
Okay.
Yakima could be a very good sushi roll, perhaps, but it's Yakima. And Kent, pure power.
Marshall Kent's one of the best athletes we have out on tour. I did an exhibition with him, and I watched him strike, throwing it right-handed, then strike, throwing it left-handed, and then strike, throwing it two-handed in a row.
Wow.
He's an amazing dude. And I'll tell you what, he's very highly skilled and a lot of talent.
It's remarkable to say, and we were looking over some of the numbers on him, that he's never won a televised match.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
And he'll leave 3-6-10 behind on that troubling left lane. So again, to remind you what the WBT scoring format is here. 30 for a strike. No extra shots in the 10th frame. Spare is 10 pins plus the pinfall to the first shot. Open frame equals the pinfall for the frame. And you can still throw a 300. This time you only can do it in 10 shots. So that is 17 in the Kent column and gives him 47.
It's just not deep enough on the left lane yet. Simonsen looks like he's got it figured out. See what he does here on the right lane.
Martin Larsen awaits the winner. All right, right lane figured out.
Pretty amazing what he does. A lot of moving parts, but I'll tell you what, he is so good at that two-handed style. Looks like he's going with two different bowling balls as well. And I think he's much deeper on the left lane.
Oh my gosh. How often do you see that one left behind there, Randy?
Yeah, not often, but
No.
when the ball's going sideways through the pins when it gets there, you're going to leave stuff like this. He's going to get his ball over here, throw the 3-pin over into the 4, and then the ball will take out the 10.
Got a chance.
You're right. It's always helpful when the players give us a warning ahead of time that they like their shots.
Just like I drew up, perfect. Throw the 3 into the 4, the ball takes out the 10.
So put 17 in his column, giving him 77. So a strike here, and Kent would tie him. That's exactly what he did.
See what he does here on the left lane there. That lane is curving, and he needs to take a giant step to the left and open his angles up.
One of the things talking with Marshall yesterday, he says, you know, I've done the usual physical game changes, but there's one thing in my mental game I still need to work on, and that's patience. As you see, he's using Timeless here with Torrent, High Road, and Pitch Black in the bullpen. And not patience as far as how quickly he bowls, but patience in dealing with things when they don't go well.
Right.
And he still feels he needs to work on that. Had a good run in Shawnee last week, nearly made the show.
Almost. He's got to keep going. I think that surprises him. He makes the move, throws a good shot, and still goes high. I'm not standing directly behind him, but this looks like it's farther left than the last time he was on that lane. Still waiting for them to get us like a 70-inch flat screen so that I can...
I think that's next year's budget.
Is that next year's budget?
It's next year's budget,
okay.
Yeah. Either that or if you get lucky at the tables. There we go.
That's not going to happen.
So 19 for Kent gives him 96 through 3.5. And here's the Anthony Simonsen. And he is using Reckitt and Reckham with Haywire and Alpha Crux if necessary. So Reckham he's using in the right lane. And Reckham is exactly what happens there. And he would like a re-rack.
It's all about how you get it off your hand. It doesn't matter how you arrive, it's how you throw it, right? So, I mean, you go back and look at Walter Ray Williams Jr., one of the greatest career ever, winningest player in the history of our sport. He wasn't the prettiest bowler to watch. I mean, he had limbs flying all over the place.
I could have sworn I already re-racked.
I thought I heard a re-rack too, and he gets it. Simonsen, 20 years old, and he turned 20 in January this year. Youngest to win a major, the USBC Masters last year. He was 19. 3-6. Boy, that left lane just seems to confuse everybody.
That left lane is on fire. Or as our friends to the south would say, in fuego. I mean, look at this thing just grabbing a hold of the middle part of that lane.
He'll take 18 points. Remember the Barbasol, Motown Muscle in PBA League, and Marshall Kent, part of the Geico New York City WTT Kingpins in PBA League, as Danielle McEwan will be a teammate of his. So a strike for Kent would put him up by 1. You see with his WBT top finishes last year.
Now, is it Qatar or Qatar?
I've heard both.
Me too.
I have not been. I have heard both.
I've never been.
I think you're right either way.
I'd love to go. I went to the Middle East once to bowl an event back in the mid-'90s. We went to Jeddah, which is right on the Red Sea. Flew into Riyadh, and it was myself, David Ozio. Gosh, there was Kelly Kaufman, I think, was another player that went. First place, 2 kilos of gold.
And that's a golden shot there for Marshall Kent. Up by 1 on these WBT current frame scoring format.
What to do on this lane?
Who finishes on this lane?
He does.
Boy. Nope. Messenger's not going to make it over to the 10, but a pretty good shot nonetheless.
Was. At least this one gets a little bit lighter in the pocket. Now he just has to figure out a way to get all 10 to go down. This looks like it's just a little bit farther right in terms of projection.
So 19 for Kent. And Anthony Simonsen, when we come back, will have an opportunity to take the lead with a strike. Spectacular split conversion for Simonsen. Well, Kent has the advantage. All right. Number 18, Virginia. Number 8, North Carolina. Big Monday presented by eBay, 7 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN. Then how about third-ranked Kansas taking on rival Oklahoma at 9 o'clock Eastern at the Fog. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. All right, time for Tech Talk with Randy.
Well, hey, let's compare the couples here. Check out the top of the backswing. You can see how much more open Marshall Kent is than Danielle. Here's the big difference right here. Look at the hands. Marshall has that kind of that wrist tweak to the inside and fingers much more towards the inside part of the ball. Danielle a little bit more on the side early. She's more down and in. He is able to get in and go much more right to left.
I got a feeling that when Marshall Kent gets in the winner's circle again, you know, he already has 2 PBA Tour titles. It's going to open the floodgates for him. Simonsen, and he'll pick up 30 there and take the lead by 10.
But he has to bowl on the left lane.
Oh boy.
Yeah, beautiful shot and nice react 6 going to the sidewalk, kicking the 10 in the face. Boy, threw that one hard.
Well, that was an ultra-aggressive approach there by Simonsen for the double to give him 185.
Oh, he gave her the heater, Ricky, and then some. That thing was flying down the lane. He says, you know what? I'll make sure that this ball doesn't go high. I'm just going to heave it.
Now compare his rev rate two-handed to Jason Belmonte. Who's
less?
Larger? Less than
Yes,
Belmo? Okay.
Absolutely. Less than E.J. Tackett, who throws it with his thumb.
Okay. Yeah, Tackett does get around. You're right. Yeah. Oh, I did not expect that.
That looked pretty good.
That's an awkward leave there. A 4-8.
You could see his thumb hole actually rotating around the ball. And then as the ball curves and goes towards the pocket, it turns to the left. It's crazy.
So Kent picking up just 18 there. He trails by 22.
Watch this ball as it goes down lane. You can see his red thumb insert. Oh, he's got it covered now, but on the replay in slow-mo, you can actually see the rotation of that red insert, and then right as it comes off the end of the pattern, it turns to the left.
Well, let's watch for that here.
Oh, see it?
Absolute
Crazy.
flush. 30 for Kent.
Here's another look. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it goes. That is called track flare migration.
And that is called a trip 7-pin. I can say that easier than what you just said.
Track flare migration.
Track flare migration?
Yes.
All right. Maybe the next fantasy football team name of mine.
That was a crazy hit.
Yeah, that was a very fortunate one, and he'll certainly take it. Martin Larsen awaits the winner of this match to claim the WBT title.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Well,
8 more than expected.
the left lane's just in your head. It's understandable.
Yeah, he got a little wild with that shot. He's trying to throw it hard, but then he got it right.
Simonsen was part of our big February earlier. 2 weeks ago, losing to Jason Belmonte in the PBA Barbasol PBA Players Championship in Columbus after he defeated Connor Pickford to get to the final against Belmo. If you missed it, won his 4th USBC Masters earlier today. So 18 for Simonsen. He's at 233.
Max score 263 for Simonsen. Max score 253 for Marshall Kent. Has to strike here to have any chance.
It does have a chance. It buries 10 of the pit. There's Danielle McEwan kind of hiding in the background there. She won earlier in a stunning way. On the bench, Liz Johnson needed a mark to win and was burned with a pocket 7-10. Finish on that nasty left lane for Marshall Kent. The best he could do is 253, and that's what he's done. So Simonsen, it's strike or don't win. Simple.
Great finish for Marshall, and he did his job. Now it's up to Anthony Simonsen.
He has to get the 30 here, and you're only getting one opportunity in the 10th frame.
So better than the one on the right lane. Yeah, baby.
Anthony Simonsen gets the 30, and he'll advance to the championship match against Martin Larsen. So that makes Anggie Ramirez Perea happy. Her boyfriend has moved on to take on the Swede, Martin Larsen, the #1 seed in the WBT Tour. He and Anthony Simonsen, the top two, will go at it for the title next. In Vegas at the Orleans, the World Bowling Tour Championship is about to be decided on the men's side between Martin Larsen and Anthony Simonsen. And the schedule for the World Bowling Tour in 2017, Munich, Shawnee, Malmo, Bangkok. Look at all these incredible places, and yet to be determined the site of the PBA World Series of Bowling, but we will be very excited to see that. The CEO of the World Bowling Tour, Kevin Dornberger, is standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. So, Kevin, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening with the WBT and the PBA for 2017?
Well, I'm happy that World Bowling is continuing its partnership with PBA in the World Bowling Tour. PBA titles for all of the World Bowling Tour events. PBA sponsorship of the finals, telecasting for us. We appreciate that very much. And of course, what this is all about in the long run is our Olympic effort. Olympic sport needs to have a world tour. We have a world tour thanks to our partner, the PBA. And our next shot, the IOC picks its 2024 Games host this September. It's either going to be LA or Paris. After that, we got to shoot for being in the LA Games or the Paris Games in 2024.
Well, I definitely hope that bowling makes the Olympic at some point, because it absolutely needs to be an Olympic sport. Thank you so much for your time.
At the doorstep. Thank you, Kimberly.
Guys.
All right, thank you both very, very much. Martin Larsen from Sweden and Anthony Simonsen from Austin, Texas. They're dueling for the World Bowling Tour Championship when we come back. We're going to call it Super Tuesday for nothing, and it's an ACC SEC doubleheader to pay attention to. 7 o'clock Eastern, Duke and Florida State. Then off we go to see if Vanderbilt can score the upset against Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Super Tuesday presented by CenturyLink on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. With Kimberly Pressler and Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, I'm Dave Lamont, and our ESPN crew getting ready to wrap up 4 hours of live bowling on ESPN with the World Bowling Tour Men's Championship. On your left, Martin Larsen Anthony Simonsen in the dark slacks. And here we go. Simonsen, who had to throw a strike in the 10th to advance to defeat Marshall Kent. And it's a solid shot on that pesky left lane, and he checks the approach there with his hand.
Well, he changed balls again and went back to the ball he's using on the right lane. Looked like he tried to spin it through the front part of the lane a little bit more here.
Martin Larsen is back on TV. It's been a while since we've seen him, but he'll cross over and leave behind a single pin. Larsen opened the USBC Masters and lost to Michael Tang. And Michael Tang then went on a tear until he ran into the eventual champion, Jason Belmonte. Larsen has won overseas, but not on the PBA Tour. But he has certainly been a very effective player this year. Finalist also of the Barbasol event in Columbus, Players Championship.
Fizzball hooked a lot on the right lane. What's going to happen on this left lane? But Martin's been getting a lot of face time, a lot of TV time lately. It's good to see. Good guy, and he needs to hurry up and win out here on the PBA Tour.
Has his family in from Sweden. First time they've been to the States. They get to watch him do this. Snapped and broke up a troubling spare attempt, so we can get 19. Again, we're using the World Bowling Tour scoring.
Nice break just leaving the 8-pin. Bucket was standing for a bit.
Down goes the 8, and 19 for Larsen, giving him a 38 to start. Again, 30 for a strike, 10 plus your count for the spare. You open frame, if you leave 3 behind, you'll get 7, just as one example. Or if you miss a single pin, you'll get 9. The 10th frame is just 1, so you can have a 300 with 10 here. And solidly burying a 10 back. Marshall Kent is standing by with Kimberly. Kimberly.
Thanks, Dave. So, Marshall, you forced Anthony to make sure he got that strike in the 10th, which was really great. But how do you feel your performance was today?
Physically, I threw the ball really well. I had a couple shots that could have carried but didn't, and I feel like I made the right moves after that, and just didn't go my way in the end. That's the way it goes sometimes. I'm
going to put you on the spot. Who do you think's going to win today?
I like Simonson's chances. I mean, he's got a great look. He's pretty comfortable on the tee pair. Martin's the top seed coming in fresh, so I like Anthony's chances.
All right, thanks so much for your time talking with me, guys.
Ooh, that is the new Marshall Kent jinx right there. Wow, what happened on that one, Randy?
Well, he did make the ball change on the left lane, and that one there, he looked like he got it to the spot. It just went right through the end of the pattern. Never grabbed a hold of the lane surface and came in light leaving the 2-8-10. That's the ball he was using on that lane. The one that he just shot the 2-8-10 with.
So he will only get 9 there, leaving him 69 through 3, and Larsen with a strike would only trail by 1. Simonsen had a quick confab with Tim Mack over there. You see Code Black on the left, Marble Pearl on the right. That's a solid hit for Martin Larsen.
Love the react.
Now, Martin has a little whimsy about him as a personality, and he'll show some of that side of him on the lanes as well. Extremely popular among his peers.
Yeah.
And there's the family, his beautiful daughters.
Look, there we are on TV.
Yeah. And no.
Wow.
That ball doesn't like like TV.
Well, we saw it with Liz Johnson in the ladies' finale on the right lane, and here Martin Larsen on the left lane.
So he'll just take the 1, and he'll get a 9 there. And that'll give him 77 now.
Well, what's interesting to me is he's using a really clean, symmetrical ball in the right lane and an asymmetrical ball on the left lane. Now, that's a clean, asymmetrical ball, but that lane hooks more. I don't know. I mean, who am I to second-guess Martin Larsen?
And somebody had a little cough. Take your time. And Anthony Simonsen backed off, so he'll start over.
It wasn't me.
Nope. We have a button for that. Solid. Kick save and a beauty on the 10. And a re-rack on that left lane.
Yeah, he's taken full advantage of all of his re-racks today, that's for sure.
He's a wise owl at 20 years old, isn't he, as a bowler?
Yeah, he really is. On the lanes, just, you know, these youngsters nowadays are mature well beyond their years. We saw it with Michael Tang in our last show, the Masters show. I mean, first time on television, climbs the ladder, and then it takes Belmonte and a force of nature in the front 7 to beat him. But he stayed with that same ball. It looked like he just got a little bit softer with it to make sure it came around the corner.
So he goes up to 129 with that double. That might be the prettiest shot we've seen on the left lane. And Larsen responds on the right lane.
Beautiful shot by Martin Larsen. Hails out of Gothenburg, Sweden, home of another PBA champion, Mats Carlsen. As you see just inside of fourth arrow. Great hand at the bottom. I love the way he gets his hand open at the top of the swing, and then just really keeps the hand to the inside part of that bowling ball.
Going way wide, snaps back in, and a snapper by Larsen gives him a double and puts him at 137 as Anna and Stefan, his parents, Amelia and Isabella, his kids, and his longtime girlfriend Diana celebrate Martin Larsen making a move in the World Bowling Tour final match. Tonight, you know what to do. You wrap up your weekend with John Buccigo, Steve Levy, and a little thing we like to call Sports Center. They'll have it all from the Daytona 500 to college basketball, the NBA, the NHL, spring training, Honda Classic, and everything else. Sports Center at night on ESPN, streaming live on the app and on Watch ESPN. That will go to the winner. It'll either be Martin Larsen, who's going to take a seat, and Anthony Simonsen, who is up now. Larsen just threw a double at him after Simonsen had doubled. So you get 30 for a strike here. Simonsen can also take the lead back with a mark. Hard left turn, and it's in there for a strike.
Nice break kick in the 4 out and maintaining his lead. How about the 4-7-10 going out late?
Two-pin did a lot of work there. explosive strike by Simonsen. So he goes to 189.
Complete control now for Anthony Simonsen. He knows exactly what both lanes are giving him. He knows the type of shot he needs to make on each lane, and now it's just a matter of execution.
He has struck 6 out of 7 frames. And Larsen's messenger fails him.
Well, it's too bad. It was a nice shot, too. Just a little late and a little behind. And the result is that week 10.
And really, your messenger wasn't all that close when you get a good look at it. He will handle the 10 pin, pick up 19.
You know, I used to be as skinny as Martin when I was 16. Martin's 37. Yeah, let's see. Did I look like that? No, I didn't.
You didn't have glasses? Absolutely perfect.
All right, so never mind about what I said about him using that ball, because the last 2 balls reacted really, really nice. So he knows what he's doing. Okay, what did he say?
I'm afraid my Swedish has gotten rusty, which is hard to do since I don't know any of it.
He said, I wonder how Dave and Randy are getting along after 4 hours of live television.
Pretty well, actually.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Out there through the face, leaves 3-6 back.
Well, the right lane finally dried up on him. 3-6 only. That's the good news. Martin Larsen now max score 246. Simonsen just cruising along.
Picks up 18 for 207. So his max is 267. You have some of your Swedish friends sending us translations via text?
I do, and they said that Martin had some not so kind words for the 10 pin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you could hear somebody in the crowd was yelling for that ball to go. It wasn't Simonsen, and he leaves behind a 2-8, which looks a lot better when that 10 pin got kicked aside.
Huge getting the 10 out. Look at that. Just the 2-8. Got to get the ball over into here, cover both pins with the bowling ball.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, he hates it. He got it, though. He didn't like it right away. He'll take it. Leaves him 225. His max now 255. And Larsen's got to put pressure on him with a strike here. Gotta hurry. No, 2-8.
Yeah, got it wide on the tight lane.
Well, he could have gone to 216 and really put a little heat on Simonsen, particularly if he had doubled. Pick up 18 and still trail by 21.
Strike, it's 234. He's taking a re-rag. He'd force Simonsen to mark. Simonsen goes 9 out.
Where have we heard this before?
We have a tie. Yeah, just like the last game.
when Liz Johnson needed a mark to defeat Danielle McEwan and got stuck with a 7-10. And McEwan ended up defending her WBT title.
Simonsen needed first hit to get past Marshall Kent. He got it. So this puts the pressure, a little pressure back on Anthony. No gimmies.
If it's a strike. It's not.
That's pretty much all but over now.
It is. Because the best Larsen can do.
222.
And he cannot beat Simonsen. So Anthony Simonsen will pick up the championship over Martin Larsen. And put another title in the Simonsen column. Tough pair of lanes here. This Atlanta pattern was a tricky one for both.
It really was. They never broke down and got super easy. Just a little tricky. And then once the players found it, and all of a sudden they change again.
So Anggie Ramirez Perea, Anthony's girlfriend, is pretty happy. I think Anthony Simonson's even happier.
Baby. Ultimate, thank you guys.
Because at 20 years old, Anthony Simonsen picks up a title again. Picking up the World Bowling Tour Championship. Defeating Martin Larsen. We'll hear from our champion when we return. The World Bowling Tour Finals are brought to you by HotelPlanner.com. The best place to book hotel rooms, best rate, guaranteed. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Grand Casino Hotel and Resort, the Oklahoma City area's premier casino resort experience. And by the United States Bowling Congress, creating competitive opportunities at all levels as we build a future for the sport. Visit bowl.com for more. There is our host, the Orleans. We certainly appreciate all they've done for us, and it's been a fabulous few days out here in Vegas.
You know that Mark Roth and I did the grand opening of this hotel.
The first time hearing of this.
Mark Roth and I back in the day. Hey, our opening match, Danielle McEwan taking on Liz Johnson. And it came down to the 10th frame. Liz Johnson opened in the 9th. She needed a mark in the 10th. It was a pocket 7-10, and the victory goes to Danielle McEwan. And then on the men's side, it was all Simonsen. He started early with a double, got a 4-bagger in the middle of the game, stayed clean throughout, and he was on to victory against Martin Larsen, 243-213.
That was our Geico Championship recap. So Martin Larsen didn't get a trophy, but he's got something more important than that. He's got his family with him here. And meantime, Anthony Simonsen has a trophy, and he gets a conversation with Kimberly Pressler.
Yes, Anthony is walking away with the trophy today. So, Anthony, you had a pretty nasty split in the 3rd, but then you moved on, got 2 or 3 strikes after that. How did you push through it?
I actually came back and talked to the ball rep because I thought it was, an okay shot, not one that was going to split. He actually suggested going back to the ball I was using the first match on that lane, which was the Wreck-It. A little self-doubt there, and I just went ahead and stuck with the Wreck-It and made sure I was a little better with my hand position, and that kind of seemed to be the play.
Well, you seemed very excited when you won today, so what does this win mean to you?
It's been a fun 3 weeks knowing that the telecast was at the end of the swings. Made a show last week. I bowled well throughout all 3 swings, so to top it off with the win is a wonderful feeling.
It definitely is. Well, congratulations to you on winning the WT title.
All right, Anthony Simonsen is your World Bowling Tour champion. Quite a day here at the Orleans. Live bowling doubleheader, and of course it begins with Jason Belmonte. And in case you had any wonders about Belmo, you better quell him now because he could be on the way to another huge year.
Yeah, we really are, and it's going to be a great race between him and E.J. Tackett. There's Belmo receiving his trophy, but I'll tell you what, he sure has made a statement the last 3 weeks, even though he didn't even make the telecast last week. He was there the whole week, but you know what? win at Touring Players Championship, win at the Masters. He's really making a statement.
Yeah, this is a great way to end up big February, too, with Belmonte winning his record 4th USBC Masters. And then the World Bowling Tour coming down to the 10th frame, as we showed you earlier, with Danielle McEwan victorious over Liz Johnson. And then 20-year-old Anthony Simonsen continuing that young guns. I mean, Belmo's only 33. It's not like he has a hard time getting around up the stairs around here. He's still got a lot of bowling yet ahead of him. So big February has come to an end, but we'll be back because our next PBA telecast is Sunday, April 16th. That's on Easter Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern for the Mark Roth Marshall Holman PBA Doubles Championship from one of the really, really cool places to ever watch or broadcast bowling from Portland, Maine. That's going to be a lot of fun. We thank you all for watching very much as you saw Danielle McEwan get strikes when she needed to and defeating Liz Johnson to win the Women's World Bowling Tour final. And then Anthony Simonsen was able to hang in over Marshall Kent with a dramatic victory and then defeat Martin Larsen for the title. For Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler and our entire crew, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you for watching our bowling doubleheader.